I think you all know that I've always felt the 9 most terrifying words in the English language are, "I'm from the government and I'm here to help."
Hello, America. It's time to check the nonsense at the door, clear the cobwebs between your ears, and have a rational-ish conversation. This is the lost art of common sense. That's right, America. I'm Josh.
And I'm Kevin.
And this is the Lost Art of Common Sense, brought to you by our merch shop. Be sure to check out all the kick-ass designs. We inadvertently seem to put a new one up almost every day, so check it for updates.
Yeah.
What do you think people should do when it comes to our merch shop, Kevin?
Buy shit.
That's right.
It.
Buy our shit.
Buy our shit.
You already messed up your own saying.
I did.
Here's something special.
Oh, man, I am.
But yeah, check out all the designs. We generally have a t-shirt and hoodie version of all of our designs. If we come up with an idea, we put it up there. So be sure to check it out. Help support the channel. You can also help support the channel by liking, subscribing, commenting, and sharing. We're going to be trying to build up our audience. So if we get up to 100 followers, we will be having a giveaway of your choice of one of our cannot buy in the stores pint glasses with one of our designs on it and a t-shirt of your choice. So when we actually launch that, we will make a little ad for it, but that is for Rumble. We're trying to build our Rumble presence. So if you're not on Rumble, you should be. But if we actually hit 200 subscribers on YouTube, I'll do one on that too. But we'll randomly select one of those people to win a pint glass and t-shirt of their choice. And as we get higher and higher, we'll have more giveaways culminating in giving away a RecTech Bullseye. So we haven't figured out what the pinnacle for that's going to be, but it's going to be a lot.
It's going to be high. We have to actually make some money on this.
That's right.
Not just constantly lose it.
Yeah, that's going to be either 10 or 50,000. It's going to see something like that. But yeah, we will have a RecTech Bullseye drop ship to whoever wins that. So those are kind of our plans for the future. But yeah, check out our merch shop, help the channel, like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. In today's episode, as you read in the title of the I'm from the government and I'm here to help, we're talking about government programs, which ones we think work, which ones we think don't, whether or not they're worth it, all that good stuff. So, Kevin, get right into it. When you hear Ronald Reagan's famous words, "I'm from the government and I'm here to help," what does that make you think, and why do you think he felt the way he did about those words?
Because Ronald Reagan was a conservative, where he believed in small government, where government should not really be impeding or dictating people's lives, and basically whatever the government touches, usually for social policies, turns to shit, even if it's in good intentions, because people exploit everything, and the government is corrupt, and they're a bunch of garbage people. So,
yeah,
I mean, that's it.
That's a true statement.
I mean, that's it. I mean, they're garbage people doing garbage things, ruining garbage policies that should never have been made anyways.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think, well, yeah, he was definitely a small government guy. I think that's the one big, I guess he did accumulate some debt. I think it was because of the Cold War.
Yeah.
Cold War spending.
Well, I think it was defense spending.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't have a problem.
I still think he made Star Wars somehow.
No, I think they definitely made Star Wars.
I think he made it without, somehow hidden in the budget or something.
Black money.
Well, that's racist.
Well, that's what it's called. Black money. It's very secretive.
Vente black.
But yeah, he definitely did not like the government meddling. So yeah, I kind of agree with you. Should we have federal government social programs that we have now? And if so, which ones do you think actually work and help people?
I was trying to think of this, and I think there's some government-backed ones that are pretty good. I think, isn't WIC?
WIC's a food program.
Is that? But it's for pregnant women, isn't it?
I have no idea.
There's one for pregnant women. I thought that was federally funded.
That might be WIC.
Pretty good. I thought it was WIC. Then, not White Irish Catholic either.
Those are food stamps for the Irish. Turns out that was the origin.
Then I think unemployment is good because it helps people when they need when they get laid off and stuff. So I think that's good for like construction workers, that are seasonal. Um, and people who like might have lost a job because they got laid off or because their company downsized. The good thing about unemployment, and I don't know if this is a state thing, but I know Iowa, you have to be actively searching for a job while you're on unemployment. I don't know if every state's that way.
I don't know if unemployment's a federal thing, but I know every state has it, but the rules are different in every state.
So you might not have to look for a job.
Yeah, I think unemployment's actually ran by the state.
Oh, well, I guess it's still government.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
those are the only two I could really think of. Every other one.
Medicare.
Oh, yeah, Medicare. Yeah, I forgot about that for the olds.
Cold-hearted fuck.
For the olds.
I think
you olds listen to us, I forgot about you. The good thing is
I think,
you may forget about me when you die.
Yeah. I know I get them back. I think Medicare is for seniors and Medicaid is for people who can't afford it.
Yeah.
But that's what I don't get. So we've always had programs like this, and I've known people that have always been, you could consider them in poverty level. And if the kids were sick or they were sick, they went to the hospital and they got what they needed. So that's why when the Obamacare is like, when they were pushing Obamacare saying, oh, we have so many uninsured people. I'm like, yeah, I mean, they are, but they're still getting their shit taken care of. So,
well, I mean, the emergency room can't turn down anybody, no matter what. But I mean, it's not like they can have a family practitioner. So, I mean, when you don't have insurance, they're kind of just like doing the bare minimum of what they have to do to get somebody out of there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I know some people's kids that had surgery and all kinds of checkup care after that, and I know they couldn't afford the surgeries.
Yeah, I don't understand how that works either.
I think that's through Medicaid.
I mean, even with insurance, it's hard for me to keep up with the bills sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the only thing I don't get about unemployment, I think unemployment is good for like layoff stuff. What I don't understand is if you get fired from a job and that company doesn't have the right paperwork to back it up, you can get unemployment, and I think that's stupid.
Yeah. I think if you're fired, you shouldn't get unemployment.
Yeah, like you have to have this long laundry list of stuff to say, no, this person did this, 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 and this. And because of all that, then we finally let them go. And then the state determines whether or not they can get unemployment.
Yeah. It's way easier for them to get unemployment than you would think.
Oh, yeah. Well, the funny thing is I had a guy that used to work for me that filed for unemployment. Only employee that I know of in the history of the company, and this isn't the company we work for now, that filed for unemployment and was denied.
Really?
Yeah, I guess the guy went to get some certification, forgot his wallet, came back without it, so they fired him. And the company won. He was denied.
Wow. It usually doesn't happen.
And I actually testified on his behalf.
Really?
Yeah, because I was like, yeah, like I normally take care of all this stuff for every employee in the company. So, yeah, I would not say that he's expected to know or do any of that.
Yeah, that sucks. Sucks for him.
I didn't get any repercussions.
I know what company you're talking about.
Yeah, I didn't get any repercussions because they weren't getting rid of me, but I was just like, that is so weird. They must really not have liked him because they don't deny unemployment to anybody.
There's some kind of grudge.
But yeah, I mean, I would say food programs are good for the actual needy, stuff like that. And Medicare, Medicaid. I mean, I'm like we've said many times in the show, I have no problem with helping somebody out. If someone's down and out on their luck, I have no problem helping them out and helping them get back on their feet. Which leads me into my next question, Kevin. Do you think these programs are here to help people out for a while and get them off, or are they more of a trap?
Well, are we going with intention or what consequences? Because I guess maybe at the beginning they were meant to help, but what you're getting anymore is people are dependent on them, and they're dependent. What it's making them is dependent on the government, which I think is the point now. I mean, they're dependent on the government, and let's be real, Democrats pretty much just lap this shit up. Because that's why poor people like Democrats, because they're always for the we won't cut your welfare.
Yeah, there are. I forgot what the exact term is, but like generational uh, social program user people.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, I remember one guy when I was working at.
That's why you can't touch their bikini beers.
That's right. But by the shirt, when I was working at the world's largest truck stop, the janitor there was talking to me one day when I was working nights, and he was like, "Yeah, as soon as I get my this and that," and he was talking about food stamps, welfare, and getting approved for Section 8 housing. He was like, "Then I'll have it made." Like his whole goal in life was to get on as many
Government programs,
government
as
assistant programs as he could, and then that was his goal. Now, I'm not saying that. I mean, the guy wasn't the brightest bulb in the bunch, but it's like
back
there's
in the
people
day,
like that.
a lot of these programs were made so people had a break between, like, if they couldn't, like, if there wasn't work, they'd have something to lean back on. This wasn't supposed to be your living. This was never supposed to be your living. And people are treating it as their living, and the government's allowing it because it makes them, like the big pig, and they're just suckling on the nips.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Oh, and they do have it kind of set to where you can't really get off it.
Yeah.
Like, unless you just happen to land like a kick-ass job.
Yeah,
It's
but I mean,
like-
if you're on welfare or something, chances are you're the best job you're going to get, unless somehow you're super smart and you have a PhD and you're like, or I could just stay home and collect a government check. But I mean, most people are not going to get like a job that pays that much better in welfare. Why wouldn't you stay at home to make a little less?
Yeah, well, and this is like 10 years ago, so it may actually be more, but, and I don't know if you've heard of it, and I don't know the source because we're not that kind of show. Look it up yourself. But someone said, like, if you are fully on government assistance, so housing, food stamps, welfare, all that stuff, your like quality of life is that of somebody who makes about $60,000 a year, which means in order for someone to maintain the life that they've gotten accustomed to living off the teat, they would have to get a job that pays $60,000+ a year.
I tell you what, there ain't many of those.
No.
Not starting off, I tell you that.
Well, with them raising fucking minimum wage all the time. Oh man, you only make 60,000? Must be nice scrubbing those toilets. What the fuck?
Except for the fact that everything else is more expensive, so you have to make 120,000 just to fucking live.
Yeah. Well, it won't be long for that because fuck.
That's how you make money worthless.
Yeah, I mean, I remember. Fuck. I think my dad didn't make over $100,000, I think, and he raised 4 kids, had a house. My mom took care of us, and somehow we made it. There ain't no way in hell you could do that today.
No, there ain't.
I think they definitely set it up like when they said that it was a scheme getting women into the workforce, because now it's set up where you have to have a 2-income home in order to be able to survive. Because back in the day, the dad was the only one that worked. They went on family vacations. They had a car. They had a house. And they were able to put away for retirement and stuff. There ain't no way in hell you could do that now.
No, you could buy a house for like $20,000 back in the day.
Well, fuck, if you go back to that one show with the guy.
Cool, man.
It's that old Christmas movie. The black and white one.
That
was a call. He's like, he's running through the street yelling.
Yeah.
He's like,
A Wonderful Life. A Wonderful Life.
What a Wonderful Life. Yeah. I think the houses then were like $5,000.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you want a house? $5,000.
Yeah, but people made like a nickel.
Yeah, it was weird. People made like $500 a year.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's why I think it's kind of a trap though, too, because generally I would say, unless you're like one of these IT people or somebody who went to college to get a degree in an oversaturated market, the chances are you're not going to be able to pivot to something that makes that kind of money. So like you get a job and then you get to a certain point and they cut your benefits out, and then, well, shit, I can't afford to live. I'm going to go back. I'm going to lose my job and go back on blah, blah, blah. It's like the same people that go to work and try to get fucked up so they can get disability.
Yeah. There's a lot of people try to claim disability.
Oh yeah, that's like a new thing. I mean, fuck, I guarantee you, I can get some type of disability.
Oh yeah, for sure.
My back's so jacked up, but do I
Back's,
know?
back's jacked up. My knees are bad. You know, I'm
Yeah, I don't know. Well, what do you think? Should illegal aliens have access to federal, state, or local social programs like they already do?
fuck no. This it's in the name. Illegal. They're in there illegally. No.
Yeah,
Nope.
you could argue that
No.
everything they do is legal. They're illegally breathing our American air.
Yeah.
It's fucked up.
Yeah. If you want now, if it's like, hey, back in 1980s fucking LA when it was all smog, then yeah, go for it.
Help
Just you're filtering the air
filter
for
the
us.
air, yeah,
But,
that's
I
what.
mean,
That's
no.
what's pissing off a lot of people though, because a lot of these social programs are losing money because it's being diverted to illegal aliens,
Yes, it's
which
garbage.
also shows that people are way too dependent on social programs.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, just cut them all. Fuck it.
Yeah, I think. Well, back in the day, fucking
Put them all to state level and let the state decide what programs they want.
Yeah, because we've gotten to, well, we're not a rich country anymore. We're horrendously in debt and culturally failing.
We're probably literally one of the poorest countries.
Yeah, I mean we're going downhill fast. But like back in the day, yeah, and that's what happens when things get super good. Then creates weak men, and weak men create hard times, and that's what happens. They're like, oh, we got all this stuff, we can blah blah blah, and it's all about power. They don't give a shit about anybody. They don't give a shit about you know the people that are like, oh yeah, he's gonna come in and give me this, and like they don't give a shit about you. They care about your vote. If you died tomorrow, they wouldn't give a fuck.
Fuck no, they don't
Like,
care.
well, hopefully they had some kids and get them on the government teat.
Well, I can tell you what, if they don't care, they're cutting, they're supporting cutting, kids' fucking genitals. And I mean, I'm pretty sure they don't care if you die.
What do you think should happen to people that abuse these programs?
I think if you're caught abusing them, you should pay back everything that you got for it. Then pay it back to, I don't know, I guess the government again, but just so they can give somebody else to fuck it up. But so there definitely should be a fine. Yet the government will sue you for whatever they gave you. You go to jail. I don't know, 2 years. Feel like that's sufficient. Then you are on probation and you had to have a job within, let's say, 3 months. Then if you don't have a job in 3 months, then the government will assign you a job, and it will be, whatever, mowing grass or fucking cleaning up illegals' poop in the street. I don't know, something.
Well, there you go.
And you're doing
They
it for
actually
minimum wage.
tried that for a while, and that's why I feel like if you're on welfare and the state or city puts you to work, you are not eligible for disability. Because what these guys were doing was going to work because they had to, and then they fuck themselves up and then sit at home on disability. And I think it's a mindset thing. It's like people.
It's funny though. You're smart enough to scheme this shit, but you're not smart enough to get a job.
Yeah, the amount of energy people put into not working. It's like these fucking panhandlers down here that will literally be standing on a street corner, freezing their ass off in a monsoon, hail pelting thunderstorm to try to get $1, but they don't have the gumption to go get a job.
Like, I'd much rather have a job.
Yeah. It's like, wow.
I'd much rather flip burgers than sit on a street in the rain.
See, that's the funny thing. Anytime I see them doing that, it's like, that guy's got quite a bit of drive. He should get a job. I'm not giving you any money.
No.
Yeah,
You seem like a real go-getter. You should get a job.
Yeah. Did you ever see that or hear that story? I think it was in Georgia where the food stamp cards, like the limit on them was fucked up for like, it wasn't all day, but it was like throughout the day. And then people heard about it. So they literally wiped out a Walmart. Like there was no food. And then when the cards started working again, there were just carts and carts full of food just left. The people just left them.
Jesus. Did they have to pay that money back?
I don't know, but I would have
just
found,
not get money for so long to.
See, what I would have done is because you can track it because every card is assigned to a person.
Obviously,
any person that took advantage of that would be permanently kicked off the program.
Yeah, or I mean, you just don't get food stamps or your card.
Nope. Permanently kicked off.
Yeah, I'm good with that. Yeah, if you're going to abuse the system, you don't belong in the system.
Like, those are your fellow taxpayers helping you out, which people don't get.
No.
It's like the guy we used to have work for us.
Free, you idiots.
Well, it's like the guy who used to work for us back in the day that wouldn't work overtime because otherwise he'd lose his Section 8. And I'm like, well, I'm so happy that I get to work longer and harder to help you pay your rent. And he's like, you don't pay my rent. The state pays my rent. And I'm like, where the fuck do you think the state gets their money, asshole?
Like, who doesn't know how the fuck the government gets their money?
A lot of people that live off government programs literally just think that the money magically, like, I don't know what the fuck that they.
Okay, I'm gonna sidetrack real quick.
Okay.
So did you see the video of the Biden's chief financial advisor?
I don't know.
The woman was like, "Hey, why are we borrowing money when we can just print money?" It was a documentary, and he was like,
"Are you talking about the old lady, angry grandma lady?"
No, this is like his chief financial advisor, not the
not the
lady, not the actual like
treasurer.
Yeah, not the treasurer, but this is Biden's chief financial advisor. He was he went to Juilliard and he was a musician, and somehow he became a financial advisor for Biden. So I don't know how that happened. I think it's because he's gay, but I'm not sure.
He's either gay or transgender or something.
No, he's not trans, so I think he might be gay. But so he's like, the woman was like, "Hey, why are we borrowing money from places when we can just print our own?" He was like, "Well, yeah, I guess we can print our own, but then we got bonds and stuff, and yeah, I don't really know." He goes, "I don't really know how it works, but yeah, we could print our own." I'm like, "What? Yeah, chief financial advisor. What do you mean you don't know? He had no idea how the economy works." I'm not sure.
Just print more money.
I'm not like a economist or anything, but I know more than like yeah, we could just print our own. Like, it was bad. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, if that was true, every government would just print as much money as they need, and it would be pure anarchy because it would be worthless.
Well, and that's what it's like. You've never heard a Republican come up with if we want, we should just make everybody the minimum wage $100 an hour and everybody be a millionaire, and that would solve everything. It's like these people have no idea how real life in finances work. And that's why the same thing is like, you can say all these social programs, and then that's what led to the inflation, all the free money they put out. Well, technically, if someone's not working, and it's like 50% of the population is on some type of government program, all that stuff feeds into inflation. All of it, because it's money that was borrowed or whatever, but it wasn't earned. It's just free money going into the system. And that's why we have a consistent 2%, if we're lucky, inflation rate.
Well, I think the interest on our fucking is over the GDP now.
Well, and that's why we need to
the interest on the debt's over the GDP.
Well, if Trump gets reelected and then we actually do become energy dominant in the world, that won't matter. That will literally fix that. Yeah, that's the only way to fix it.
That or cut every fucking bureaucracy.
Well, yeah, we need to do that as well. I'm just saying, if you want to live stupid like we are now, the only way to do that is to be energy dominant, where we set the world oil price, and we're like, nope. And then you can do it. You can have all that. Any country that's a major exporter of oil, their citizens live pretty damn good.
Oh, I know. And they have a fucking surplus.
Yeah. Not us, though. No.
Well, we fucking act like we have a surplus. We just spend.
Yeah, that's what. And that's why these government programs take me off, because like I haven't been able to find it, and I know we talked about it, but I know we had. I just think that the original food program, because we were coming out of the the Great Depression, and then we were drafting for World War II, I think, or they were wanting to. Well, the only people healthy enough to pass the physicals to go to war were rich kids. And then, they started a food program to help people out and also made people healthier. That could be a conspiracy theory. I could have sworn I read that somewhere.
I'm sure it's true.
It's like the Davis-Bacon Act, which is kind of like prevailing the wage, but it's not. But it just sets, if you're working on certain federal installations, whatever the Davis-Bacon wage, and it's based on your county, is for that area, you had to pay all the employees that. And the whole reason people might think, oh, it's for a fair wage. No, it's so back then contractors that had minority workers who they paid less couldn't undercut all white work, all white employed contractors. So it's a little touchy,
Wow.
no touch of racism.
Well, nothing like something built in racism.
Well, I think if you look back in a lot of stuff, probably has stuff like that. But
I think that's partially why welfare was created.
oh, I'm sure. I mean, it's once you're on it, they cut the legs out from under you.
Was created.
Well, yeah, that was. I think
Yeah.
Wasn't it a CIA thing?
Yeah, that was actually. I think that was actually released. Yeah, it was. The classified documents came unsealed or whatever. After
Yeah,
so many
they
years.
intentionally released it to break up black families
Yeah,
because up until that
they
happened,
distributed it into poor neighborhoods so they could break up black families. So,
well, and it wasn't even necessarily poor neighborhoods. It was like because
or racially,
minority communities.
Yeah.
Because like they had Black Wall Street and a bunch of like black people were doing pretty good. They had nuclear families. They were doing good in finance and investment and building stuff up. And then, I don't know why they had a problem with that, but supposedly CIA introduced crack. Well, that's true. And it destroyed the nuclear family, and they're still feeling the repercussions of it today.
Yeah. Now they're all now there's a large portion of inner city people that are on welfare, and that's a lot of where the Section 8 housing is.
Yep.
So
where the ghetto came from.
Yeah, I mean, there's trash in every race, but I mean, it was targeted.
Well, that's why I don't think that people shouldn't rely on the government.
No, because
it's a trap, and they're going to do whatever they can to.
No, it's a power thing.
Yeah, don't allow someone to have that control over you.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, we had to abide by laws and shit because they're laws. But I mean, don't willingly participate in a government program unless you absolutely have to.
Yeah, I have no problem with people getting help when they need it, but man, tread carefully because back in the day, people used to be embarrassed to get unemployment or any of that stuff, and now it's like you can there's a lot of people, not everybody, but there's a lot of people on these programs, and they all got a fucking I deserve this, attitude about it.
Yeah, and I was watching what was it, Cinderella Man with Russell Crowe, where he
haven't
borrowed.
Seen that yet.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. It was,
maybe I have.
As he's a boxer.
Yeah, I think I have.
So he was all rich and famous, and he was a good boxer. Then I think he broke his hand or something in a match, so he couldn't box, and then he became poor. Then he would do whatever he could for work. Then eventually he had to go to the government assistance thing, and he was all embarrassed about it. And once he got enough money back, he actually paid the government back whatever he took from all those times he borrowed. Because people were embarrassed.
Yeah, I mean, and those are the people that deserve it because they're not going to stay on it. It's like when you see people that break out I don't know, they're called Lone Star cards out here, but I've literally seen someone break out a food assistance card at a gas station buying fountain drinks, chips, and candy, which, what the fuck? And then they go out and they get in a brand new fucking vehicle.
I know. I don't know how. Well, some people will pay for those. They'll give, somebody will have it, then somebody else will pay that person half
it's like back in the day
buying cash,
buying food stamps at 50 cents on the dollar.
Yeah, exactly what they still do it. People still do it.
Just sell their card.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, because I remember people going for they'd take food stamps and buy packs of gum with them because they used to give you change back.
Yeah,
actual.
Well, I mean, it used to be a book, wasn't it?
It was actual stamps.
Yeah, so you give them a $10
and then the stamps had a monetary value, and whatever was back in change, you would get dollar amounts back in stamps. With change, you got back in change. So I knew people that would go constantly buy a bunch of shit from different places to get enough change to buy a pack of smokes.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always people there to game the system.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But, yeah, I think we can both agree that if you can stay off of government programs, that's probably best. And I think we do need a better job to motivate people to want to improve themselves so they're not on government programs and get out of people's way. Like, I have no problem helping people out to better themselves. If you want to be a lazy piece of shit and not work and just live off the government, I feel like your life should suck just a little bit.
Yes.
But I think that wraps up the main topic of the day, Kevin, which means it's time for
Winners and losers of the week.
In my book, you're a winner too.
I think you're a loser.
That's right. Which means you go first, Kevin. Who's your loser?
My loser is Joe Biden.
Oh, well, that is so out of left field. I don't even.
Yeah.
Why would you say that?
Well, just from his holding the fucking things from the ammunition and missiles from Israel, because he doesn't want them to go into Rafah to finish off Hamas for some reason. I guess. And I'm pretty sure I remember a president who got impeached. Well, they said as far as quid pro quo, but I think the actual impeachment was because he held certain weaponry from Ukraine, and because Congress allocated that money, he couldn't do that. But yet Congress allocated the money and munitions to Israel, and Biden is holding it and without repercussion.
Yeah, I do remember like his first that was his first impeachment, right? Or was how many times was he impeached?
Twice.
2 or 3 times.
Twice. It was
All right,
his
so the
first one.
second time was
maybe it was three times. Twice.
Well, the second time was a phone call he made to Ukraine.
No, it was 3 times because wasn't it Russia, then Ukraine, then January 6th?
January 6th. And they tried, they actually impeached him or something. I don't know. It was a fucking joke.
It was 3 times.
But yeah, he is a fucking loser. I agree with you. My loser works for Joe Biden, Kevin.
Does he?
Jack Smith. Dun, dun, dun. Which this could also make him a winner.
Technically, the DOJ is a separate entity and does not have a party affiliation.
Oh, thank you for that disclaimer.
So if you're listening, DOJ, I am on your side.
And my disclaimer is that whole last one was bullshit. No, apparently he had, I wish I would have read more into the story, but SO facto, the documents case that he's prosecuting from the document seizure of Mar-a-Lago, he apparently intentionally
tampered, didn't he?
Tampered, improperly labeled classified information to where the judge was just like, yeah, we're gonna put a pause on this.
She's like, this is kind of screwed up, so we're just gonna put a pause on this thing indefinitely, and we're gonna try to figure this out and see what happens.
Yeah, because what he did was shady as hell. It's I think anytime so with his case in New York, bringing in what's her face, Stormy Daniels, that had nothing to do with the case, and then I feel like she perjured herself because she's on tape in a deposition saying, no, none of this ever happened. And then she goes up, takes an oath, and then says that all this stuff happened. So she perjured herself one side or the other. That should have been a mistrial, and this should be a mistrial.
Well, she also admitted to, what's it called? It's not blackmail, but it's
extortion.
Extortion. She admitted extortion, which is an actual crime. There was something else. There was some other crime she admitted to. I mean, it was.
I know that it went so bad that the prosecution will no longer be calling some Playboy girl as a witness. They're like, you know what? I think we're good. I don't know if it's maybe they feel like they've done enough damage to his character, but if anybody, and the problem is many people don't, if anybody looks into it and looks into that case, they're going to know that this was an extortion racket, and she admitted she lied. I mean, I'm not putting those words in her mouth. She's on tape saying that. It's like, no, I made this up. And then somehow she goes on the stand again. So that should have been a mistrial, but that judge is a piece of shit. And then this judge isn't, but I guess because they can't prove that Smith acted maliciously, and did it on purpose. But this should be a mistrial too. All this stuff's going on.
Is he doing the January 6th one too? Or is that somebody else that's actually running that one?
No, I think it's him too.
Yeah, and I'm pretty. What's funny is about this whole
Georgia is about him calling Kent and saying,
which they're not allowing the phone call. to be
Well,
played.
of course. Is that one even in court yet, or are they still trying to figure out that prosecutor has a job?
I'm pretty sure they're still trying to figure out what's going on with the prosecution there.
It's like, well, she's been illegally spending donor
Basically,
money.
if they want to get Trump on anything, I think it's only up to the January 6th case now.
Yeah, all the other ones are all muddled up, and there's no. I just don't understand, like, because I know the case with January 6th, that guy's like, well, he didn't say it, but he was saying it with his eyebrows.
Well, they charged him with everything. But they didn't charge him with insurrection.
Yeah. It's because he didn't.
So, I know.
I don't know. That's that guy could be a loser every day of the week. He's a piece of shit. And,
yeah, absolutely he is.
It's not just that he's a piece of shit lawyer and acting on the behest of, I wouldn't say Biden, I would say the Biden administration and whoever's running it, which I'm pretty sure Obama and his ex-secretary of state and people like that are probably have a hand in it. But he's just like, it's not just that. It's the damage they're doing to the institutions of both federal and state, people's confidence in federal state legal systems.
This is why nobody has confidence in anything of any people in power anymore. From the president to your health officials to especially the health official. We'll get to that here in a little bit. But I mean, to these bureaucracies like the DOJ, FBI, CIA, all these, not the NSA though. You people are great.
You guys are gems.
Again, I know you guys have no party affiliation, and if you're listening, I'm on your side. But, yeah, I mean, most of these bureaucracies are garbage, and people don't have any confidence in them. The fact that Congress's approval rating is always in the single digits is almost amazing. And they keep getting reelected.
That's because everybody hates Congress except for their guy.
Yeah, it's fucking stupid.
Yeah. So, yeah, that guy's a loser. Who's your winner of the week, Kevin?
I don't really have a person, but I will tell you I watched Dune 2, and I was pretty impressed. I liked it. Got off. It was a little slow at times, but for the most part, I'd give it 4 out of 5 stars. There was no woke shit. There was no, it wasn't it was kind of a remake, but I mean, it was well done. I really enjoyed it. I thought, this is a good movie, and I'm looking forward to the third one.
Yeah, I didn't get movie fatigue, and it was a long movie.
Yeah.
Like when you get tired sitting there? Yeah. I didn't get that.
No. There's a couple slow parts, but I kept my interest the whole time, so.
I tell you what, Willy Wonka's a violent motherfucker.
I didn't watch that one yet.
He's an angry dude.
Yeah.
It's the same actor, Kevin.
I know. I didn't watch Willy Wonka, though.
I liked his version of Willy Wonka.
What else?
It has a Gene Wilder feel to it.
Yeah, I feel
it's less inappropriate. Probably don't want to take your kids to the Chocolate Factory feeling that you got from Johnny Depp's one.
I think I'm looking forward to Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool 3 coming out too.
Yeah, there's only going to be a handful of movies. There's been a bunch of articles and stuff coming out that Hollywood is crashing and burning right now.
Yeah, my loser of the week was almost was it Bob Iger from Disney, because he pretty much stated that he's no longer making original content, that he's only going to make sequels or remakes because they're easier to market.
I tell you what, it must be really nice to be a corporation executive for one of these companies where you can just lose the company billions of dollars, send them down an obvious path that is not going to make any money, and somehow keep your job.
I think Disney stock's the lowest it's been in 20 years.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't mean to toot my own horn, but you know what? Pay me half of what you're paying him, and I'll give me 2 years, and I'll have it turned around. You might have a lot of fucking lawsuits from how I talk to people, but
yeah, a lot of people are going to lose their job. So.
Oh my gosh, you just came in and took out all the safe spaces.
Yeah.
I think it would be almost like Elon Musk in Twitter/X.
Everybody's out.
I'm going to try my hand at directing.
Yeah. I'm doing everything myself.
See, but
I'm
that's
going to
just it,
act,
though.
direct.
That's what I don't understand.
Animate.
Like, as long as, like, and I don't know if Disney got in a bind over COVID, so that's why they're having to do the DEI stuff to get that DEI corporate investment money. But you don't have to be a writer or a director or an actor or a ride designer or builder to run the company. That's why a lot of executives take a lot of vacations, because if they did their job right and had the right people in the right places, they don't have a lot to do. And that's why I feel like I could do 10 times the job of Bob Eisner for half the price. Give me a call, Disney. We'll set up a meeting while Kevin looks up weird stuff. Well, I'm going to go to my winner of the week, which is Judge Aline Cannon, which just happens to be the judge on the document case, who put the brakes on it and pretty much took all the, what she basically did is took all the deadlines off. So it's like there's no way in hell that case is going to be. I mean, I don't know. He might see a courtroom before the election, but there's no way he's like there's going to be a conviction or anything like that before the election. So, Kevin, you got a weird look on your face.
So I was just
What'd
looking
you
up
read?
who are Disney's top stockholders: Vanguard, BlackRock, and State Street, which are all way left investment companies.
Well, there you go.
Altogether,
Now,
they own 20% of Disney.
I thought they changed something though, or maybe they were thinking about it to where places like that can't have any deciding factor in a company, and they do need to make a law about that, because technically it's not like BlackRock owns it. Like, yeah, they do, but they own it on behest of their clients
Yeah, but
or on behalf of their clients. So like they should have no,
I don't
like, yeah,
think they
you can
can-
own it and you can make the money. You should have zero input on how the company's run.
yeah, exactly. You're not a stockholder. You're holding the stock for your customers.
Yeah, they should have zero. And I think there are states maybe that are doing that. I think Florida might be one of them.
Florida's one of them. Yeah, for sure. I think Florida's one of them.
Yeah, it's like, no, you can own the stock. You have zero. You cannot have any corporate people on the board, and you have zero input in the direction of the company.
Which I don't know where Disney's technically their
I think they're out of
headquarters out of.
Maybe
Are they
they're
headquartered out of California or Florida?
That would be my first act as the CEO of Disney, is
moving to
moving the
Florida.
corporate office to Florida.
Yeah.
It's like and they must have gotten in a bad spot, because if you need investors' money that bad, then you got to think though, all these companies like Disney that are constantly expanding, and the cruise ships that are constantly putting out new cruise ships, stuff like that. COVID hurt them a lot, because yeah, they have a ton of money coming in and they're always spending. It's like you either expand or pay taxes, basically.
Well, I mean,
But
you're what are you doing? Because you're like, hey, I'm trying to make money, but B, I'm a lapdog, so they tell me I've got to close my parks, even though like Ron DeSantis would have been like, no, go ahead and open it up.
well, yeah, but that was the problem though, because they require that machine to be running. So by them shutting down, that threw a huge wrench into it, because Disney was buying up everything. They bought literally fucking everything.
Yeah, like they bought they bought Marvel, they bought Fox, they bought Star
Discovery
Wars,
Channel,
Discovery,
National Geographic, like
everything
all kinds
Discovery.
of weird shit.
Yeah, they bought. I think they
Like, yeah, I think Discovery is like all attached to that, but they just keep like every time you turn around, and then they ruin it. And they were starting to do that shit before COVID, but yeah, the only thing I think of is they're in some kind of financial bind, or where they're beholden to these investors.
Oh, I'm sure it's like some kind of like credit,
It just sucks that
line
you
of
get
credit
these,
or something.
you get these. Well, that's how they operate. Like they might have so much money in the bank, but payroll comes out of a line of credit. So if they need if these banks threaten your line of credit if you don't toe their line, then it's like, well, you're damned if you do and damned if you don't, because you're not going to have any working capital. But yeah, But yeah, so you heard my winner. The judge did good.
Huh? So let's go to our new segment.
Oh, the new segment, the Trump Truth.
Trump Truth.
What I say is what I say.
And this week's Trump Truth was brought to my attention by Kevin. And Trump said, I spotted ratings challenge Lawrence O'Donnell of MSDNC in the courthouse today. I haven't seen him in years. He looked like shit. A real loser. And that was the Trump Truth of the week.
What I say is what I say.
So every week, because Trump puts out on Truth Social something wild almost daily. So we're going to pick the best of the week. And if he, for some reason, doesn't tweet or whatever truths that week, we'll find one of his older ones. But every week we'll have a Trump truth because the dude is hilarious. And he was always being our winner of the week. So one of us always picked him because of his truth. So we're like, well, why don't we just do a whole segment and we just read our favorite truth?
Just a quick segment of our favorite Trump truth of the week.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
All right. Well, yeah, we'll do that every week from now on. Let's get on to the happenings of the week, Kevin.
Happenings of the week! Yeah!
What's happening?
What's happening? What's happening?
What's happening?
What's happening? What is happening?
So we already touched on it about the Stormy Daniels testifying. Got anything else to say about that other than I think it was monumentally stupid on the prosecutor's part?
I don't think it was because I think it was that was the whole reason this whole case is trying to embarrass Trump, but no one cares. Absolutely zero people care about this. I mean, people are fucking protesting in college campuses. That's what they care about. People are like paying fucking outrageous amount for groceries. That's what they care about. Illegals are everywhere. That's what people care. No one cares if Trump slept with a porn star in 2006. I'm sorry. Everybody knew.
Apparently,
no one cares.
You don't pay attention. He got his ass smacked with a magazine with his face on it by Stormy Daniels.
Who cares? Still don't care.
Here's what I don't get. Is that really any better or worse than the whole Russiagate thing where supposedly he peed on hookers in the bed?
No, they peed on him.
Slept
no,
in
he peed.
or whatever.
Yeah, but he's a huge germaphobe. Like everybody's ever known him, I guess, said he's a huge germaphobe. So there's no way he just let somebody pee on him.
But to me that seems worse.
Yeah, absolutely. If you have people pee on you, it is definitely worse. I mean, I guess unless somebody shit on you, peeing is probably the second worst thing that could possibly happen.
Yeah,
so if you're a urophiliac, no, that's not it. No, that is it. If you're a urophiliac, then you're disgusting.
You know weird words.
Well, that's because one of my favorite SNL things was it was with James Franco and he was doing the spelling bee. One of the words he's
I remember you sent me that.
Was urophiliac. So that
can you use it in a sentence?
Yeah. I've watched that SNL one, that SNL clip. Everybody watch it. It's James Franco is spelling bee, and that's how I put it on YouTube. It's hilarious, so everybody should watch it. And you'll figure out what the word urophiliac means.
And that's how stupid videos somehow always have a place in our show. I don't know about how in order. I got Israel-Hamas ceasefire talks fall apart.
Well, I mean, yes, everybody's like, "Oh, well, Hamas agreed to a ceasefire," but I guess they just made their own thing up, and it had like, "Hey, we will return the dead hostages, and you have to stop like forever trying to kill us." Even
so,
no matter
that's what I thought. It was like some third party thing that Hamas was working out with, like Egypt or some shit.
Egypt and like Syria or something. I mean, it was ridiculous. I don't think it was Syria. I think it was somebody else. But it was like Egypt and another Mid-Eastern state.
The Whoopies?
No. The Houthis are definitely a terrorist state. But a terrorist, organization like Hamas. So anybody's like, oh, well, Hamas is still a terrorist organization, so shut the fuck up. So,
and I thought they were kind of like denying it until Israel started rolling tanks in, like, hey, maybe we will talk.
Yeah. They found out that Israel was seriously going to fucking start, fucking them up, like in Rafah, and they're like, oh, we'll call a ceasefire. Oh, yeah, no, we're not going to do the ceasefire you agree to. We're going to make our own.
I mean, I get it. I mean, if you're Hamas and you're just an inhuman piece of shit, you're kind of stuck in a rock and a hard place because it's like, well, if I give up the hostages, they're going to kill me. And if I don't get up the hostages, they're going to kill me, but later.
Yeah, but they're not giving up the hostages. Oh, yeah, I was going to say something else about Biden, too. He's a piece of shit,
Kevin.
He
is a piece of shit. He pooped his pants.
I think I saw an ad today that said I will never give up on you. And everybody's like, what about the people in Afghanistan? What about the 5 hostages in fucking in Palestine? What about the dude in Russia? You've given up on all of them.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, yeah, they just, I mean, their base is rapidly shrinking. So they're counting on them not knowing that stuff, but that number keeps getting smaller because it's just gotten so bad that even dumb people are picking up on it.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to be that smart to fucking know that, he's a fucking liar.
He is a liar. He's a dumb liar, Kevin. AstraZeneca pulls vaccine. Scarf Lady says there are people who shouldn't have had to take it.
Yeah, there's 10 or 20 people I've heard that were all full vax people, If you're not vaccinated, you're a piece of shit. If you're not vaccinated, why don't you stay inside, you garbage person? All these people are like, well, maybe it's not so good, There might actually be consequences to the vax. I mean, there seems to be a large amount of vaccine injuries. And they're all
because people that weren't high risk took it.
Yeah, and that's
what
it.
They're saying now.
Yeah, they're like, oh, maybe we shouldn't have forced people. Maybe we should have, looked into it, but we just didn't know. I'm like, well, half the fucking country knew.
They knew pretty quick who was vulnerable and who wasn't.
Oh, absolutely.
They
definitely knew by the time the vaccine came out.
Yeah. Well, and then they're saying long COVID and stuff like that. You can get long COVID from the vaccine.
Yeah.
She's like, sometimes it happens.
I think Andrew Cuomo.
You can't call me Scarf Lady anymore.
What's the anchor one? Is it Andrew or is that the one, Chris? Cuomo.
Chris.
So it's Chris Cuomo. He's got a vaccine injury he's got long COVID from the vaccine.
Oh, that's what's wrong with him?
Yeah, he's then he's a piece of shit. But other than that wasn't the vaccine. That was just life. But yeah, I guess he's got some vaccine injury and he's naming off other leftists have vaccine injuries. He's like, we tried to believe the experts. You're an idiot.
That's what I don't. It's them saying, anybody who used any amount of common sense would know that when they said you have to get vaccinated to protect the vaccinated, or some shit, none of what they were saying made any sense. And then you have videos like that one piece of shit mom that was like, oh, I can't wait till they approve it to vaccinate my baby because I'm going to have him vaccinated right away. And then we're just going to go around and lick and spit on people. Basically saying they hope unvaccinated people die. It's like, you dumb bitch. You probably somehow fucked up your kid for life. Because there's a bunch of cases of younger people getting cancer. They're blaming it on other stuff. But there's a lot of weird shit going on with younger people. And I don't know for sure, but I do know that the big X factor changeo facto is millions upon millions of people getting vaccinated with an experimental vaccine. I'm just saying.
Did you see the guy from BlackRock, the CEO, says the ideal amount of people in the world would be 500,000 people? He admitted it. That's what he said.
I mean, whatever.
Oh, I'm just saying, if you have a fucking agenda to kill people, putting it in a syringe and calling it a vaccine would be a pretty good way of doing it.
Yeah, but think about it. All the people that are going to be left on the planet are the assholes that don't like to be told what to do.
I know. You got 500,000 assholes.
We shall inherit the earth.
Oh, you
The
only got
assholes.
500,000 people. We're only going to have like what? Probably 1,000 people per country.
It's like turns out the world population is now just full of bunch of sarcastic dicks.
Yeah, maybe 10,000 people per country. I mean, I'm just saying, like, you don't even have to see anybody with 10,000 people per country.
Yeah, that's why people like that. That's why I don't like uber rich people. I don't mind uber rich people that just like spend their money on wanting to go to Mars or whatever. But the uber rich people that feel like they know what's best and they want to like alter the trajectory of the world, those people can go fuck themselves.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And my last topic is Dems vote unanimously for illegals to count toward representation in Congress and the Electoral College, which to me, Kevin, kind of removes the veil on why Biden got rid of all of Trump's border policies and allowed like 9 to 10 million illegals into the country.
Thank God the Republicans, even on the slimmest of margins, still have control of the House, because this definitely didn't pass. But every Democrat voted for it. Like, it should not count toward, like, illegal aliens should not count on the census, period. You should have to be a citizen. And if you go to a house and there's an illegal alien, I'd be like, yes, I'm filling out the census for you. And what you're really doing is you flip the page and it's an ICE sheet. So you just, this one's here. And you just keep going.
Well, and that's what they say they've been doing. And that's the only thing that sucks about spreading these all these illegals out throughout the state or throughout the country. Granted, most of them are going to left-wing cities and everything. But
no, all the ones that, all the violent ones go to Miami and Texas.
That's true.
That's where Biden's been flying them to. He doesn't put them back in Mexico, even if they are violent offenders. They just get flown to Texas and Florida.
Well, hopefully they get flown right back to. I think we should just drop them like somewhere. Like I don't know. If you're a violent criminal, if you break the law, it's like in Denver. There's an encampment of illegals, and they're refusing to break it up.
Why don't you send them to Canada? Just get them out of Canada.
That's what I would do. It's like, here you go. Drop them off in Canada. Can't go home. He can't stay here.
What you do is just make a giant bridge over the U.S. and it just goes right to Canada.
But that plays right into what they say. They want to change the census, the voting demographics, and then pretty soon they'll try to get them amnesty, and that's the Democrats' way of trying to retain power.
And they want to make it toward so you can gerrymander the voting block for how many congressional. Well, if you want to count towards the Electoral College, so
there's some states, and I don't know how you can do it. Did you hear about some states wanting to get rid of the Electoral College for the popular vote?
They can't. I think it's constitutionally written that the Electoral College.
Yeah, right? I don't think they can. Either that, or
it would take an amendment, a constitutional amendment to change it.
I mean, theoretically, though, that doesn't matter because generally, now it depends on how to say. Some states are broken up like per district or county or whatever. Like, wherever the electoral things fall in that state, whoever wins that section, the popular vote technically in the state is who gets the Electoral College. So it's dumb. It's like, oh no, we're going off popular vote. Don't you already?
What do they do otherwise? I mean, it usually follows up. I mean, I wonder if it ever not followed up. That'd be a good thing to look up.
Yeah, we do need to look into that because I do think that's kind of dumb to where like somebody could be like, you know what? No, these people made a bad choice. So because you can have rogue electors. Now there are some states where, and that's basically what it is. The popular vote prevails where the electors have to vote the way of, who won. They have to. There's no choice. But now other states, no, the electoral or the elector, they can literally vote for whoever the fuck they want. I think they're called rogue electors or something like that. But yeah, so that's pretty fucked up. And it just shows that the party saying we need to protect democracy and all this other that it's such a cliche now. Like literally everything the Democrats accuse anybody of doing, they're 1,000,000,000,000% doing themselves.
Oh,
everything.
Absolutely. They are the worst people. And I am not a big fan of Republicans either, but Democrats are by far the worst people. Because I'm not saying like if you're a Democrat or if you believe in democratic, some democratic like ideas, you're a bad person, but I'm just saying the ones in office for sure.
Yeah, the left-wing people, that have taken over the Democrat Party are
horrible
just
people.
horrible people.
Yeah.
Like it's unreal. So
Yeah.
that wraps up the happenings of the week, Kevin, which means it's time for your favorite segment.
Yes, it is. It's White Slur of the Week.
What's a honky?
And this week's White Slur of the Week is Whiskey Tango. It's a term used for white trash in the military.
That's so good. I like that one. I was thinking about using that one last week, but
Yeah, I just came across it like, hey, I like that one. So yeah, Whiskey Tango, the White Slur of the Week.
What's a honky?
hell yeah, White Slur of the Week. Yeah. I don't know.
There you go. Well, I don't know if I got anything left. You got anything left, Kevin?
Nope.
All right. Well, until next week, make sure you like, subscribe, share, comment, check out the merch shop. And until next week, I'm Josh.
And I'm Kevin.
And this was another totally super badass, bodacious, tubular, just over the top, kick ass episode of the Lost Art of Common Sense.
Common Sense!
Common Sense!
Common Sense! Buy our shit!
We'll see you next week, everybody.